Hey everybody, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing! Good to have you guys, 9 a.m. here on this Thursday in Flagstaff, Arizona. That's where I'm broadcasting from now. And I want to do a special shout out, man. My notification squad, you guys rock. I love to see you guys on there talking beforehand. Everybody's kind of basically exchanging phone numbers. Though you're probably 9 hours difference or more. Anyway, I just want to say it's super awesome to see you. I want to do a couple shout outs here for who is on. Look at, we got Olivia from Denmark. You're what, like 9 hours? What time is it over there? 6 o'clock, something like that? We've got Philippe again. Hello, Philippe. Good to see your mug, man. We've got Chief Newbie. Does that mean, are you the first newbie? It says, I was first. That's why you're Chief Newbie. And let's see who else we got here. Stefan, bless you, Ken. Thank you, Stefan. I am blessed and I'm grateful. The human robot. Hey, by the way, you got to tell me what that means. How are you, a human robot? We've got Arenge's Cottage. Cool. Oh, yeah, you got that cool cottage up north, huh? Curtis Coley. Now, we're combining both Facebook and YouTube. So we've got a lot of these. Furry Murray, you made it, dude. Good to see your mug. Olivia is telling me, yep, it's 6 o'clock over there. Wait, Wong Kai something. I forgot where that's from. Slovakia. Man, these are ripping by, guys. I'm trying to get Nebraska. We've got Germany. Hello, Christian. Stormy Jones. They call it Stormy Monday, but Thursday's just as bad. I had to do that, sorry. Immortal Aslan from Buenos Dias, Maestro. Hello. Buenos Dias. That's it. It's Buenos morning to you and me. Montreal, Linda Botts. Hi, Linda. Matt Cronin. We've got Christian Flores from New York City. Cool. Man, you guys have got a funky governor. I just got to tell you. Anyway, and we've got Nova from Brazil. Ricky Martin. Or Ricky Music. Hello, man. Anyway, I want to get started. So I'm going to answer some questions afterwards, guys. So hang in there. Looking forward to doing that. But we have an amazing subject today, and today's subject is the best revenge against singing critics. So 7 tips to change your life. And I want to say I use this term revenge very tongue-in-cheek, okay? We really don't want to harbor bitterness in our heart against others, and we just can't wait until, whatever, right? I think I remember telling you on one of my live streams that, we're going to have this kind of people that carry this, I'm going to show the whole world how awesome I am. And no offense, but the whole world isn't looking. And so, again, your worst, most humiliating, crazy event is only someone else's momentary amusement. Just remember that, okay? So as we're going through this, I'm going to use revenge more in an entertainment sense. And I want to discuss some things with you. I'm just breaking right into this, guys. So now, true revenge will foster bitterness like a cancer to your soul. And I want to slow some of these things down so you guys can really digest this, okay? Let me say it again. True revenge, I'm going to get even with that guy, right? Will foster bitterness like a cancer to your soul. It'll literally imprison you, okay? So the kind of revenge I'm about to refer to is in a different kind of way, which is actually going to be very liberating. Now, anyone looking to better themselves is inviting criticism. Okay? Think about that. So if you're looking to do something better for yourselves or make yourselves better, anyone that does that is inviting criticism. And I love this quote by Aristotle. It says, criticism is something you can easily avoid by saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing. Did you hear what I said? In other words, if you just sit on your butt and you never become or do anything, you can avoid criticism. But the minute you get off your butt and do something, you're inviting it. This is Aristotle. I didn't say that. He said it, okay? But I thought, I'd have some fun with the term in an entertaining context. So, and I wanted to start off by saying that the number one tip for best revenge is success itself is the best revenge. Having success at something is the best revenge. People that have mean critiques have so little going on that you're literally are already ahead of them. Think about that. In other words, you're already trumping who they are as people. Now, I want to really slow this down, guys, because I know sometimes I talk fast and I blast through a lot of information, but this is heart stuff. This is mind-heart connecting stuff that I want you to realize. I'm going to say this again. People that have mean critiques have so little going on that you already are ahead of them and are trumping them, or you've superseded them. Where do you think you will be 6 months to a year from now with dedication to what you love compared to where they'll be 6 months to a year from now on their hating on other people? Think about that, right? And I say that because when I think about how nasty people can be in their critiques, I think, well, gosh, don't you have anything better to do with your life than just to beat up on people and hate on people? Now, some people think they do it for amusement, and some people actually commit suicide because, especially younger people, because they've got these haters that say these awful things about them, and it only takes a little tiny something for these people to believe that to be true about themselves, where it's so extreme they want to kill themselves, right? So we're gonna countermand that with some stuff here. So remember that success is the best revenge. So number two is don't care about what people think. Genuinely laugh it off. Now, this will irritate them to no end. So this kind of revenge is like heaping burning coals on their head. Like, in other words, when you're able to just kind of go, whatever, dude, and they didn't get to you, they didn't accomplish what they set out to accomplish. And so all of a sudden, they themselves will find themselves more irritated, more frustrated, more angsty inside because they weren't able to beat you up or to hurt you with their horrible comments. So be careful drinking the haterade. You heard me right. Be careful drinking the haterade. Now, there are even entire shows dedicated to this. And I know some of you guys have seen Jimmy Kimmel's mean tweets, but I want to talk to you guys about this because it's actually pretty, I'd seen a couple of them. I didn't know there was like 15 episodes for musicians, another 15 episodes for actors and actresses and so on. And I just went through a few of them, but I wanted to go ahead and grab some of these tweets just to show you that we're not alone in the hate game, in the mean tweet game. The very first tweet is, thinking of unfriending everyone on Facebook whose status update is Kid Rock's concert, then saying it was awesome. Have a little respect for yourself. Not only are they dissing Kid Rock, and they're dissing everyone else. Now, they think they're being funny, and sometimes these comments can be funny, but there's also, they're trying to put a little truth in it so that it hurts somebody. It's a little poison arrow, okay? Next one, Lady Antebellum singing the national anthem actually kind of makes me hate America. And by the way, these guys are actually, Kid Rock, Lady Antebellum, and all of them, they're reading these live to you, and then you see kind of their looks on their faces after. So if you get a chance, you can check out Mean Tweets, Jimmy Kimmel. You'll see what I'm talking about. Some of them are so foul, I didn't include that. I just, I'm picking the ones I thought that were funny that we could, relate to. John Mayer, you look like a bus soaked in turd wrapped up in a Dumb and Dumber tux. What the heck does that mean? Keisha, you're just a crack whore. And by the way, I was trying to be get the nicer of the ones. Brad Paisley. Now, I got to say something. Now, I had an interaction with Brad Paisley not that long ago. And he has to be one of the funniest, kindest, most professional, easygoing, killer guitar player, great songwriter guys that I know, straight up. And this is what someone said at Brad Paisley. I don't know your music. Boom, right there. He doesn't know anything about Brad Paisley, but he's gonna hate on him. Check it out. I don't know your music because I don't drive a pickup and I don't sleep with my sister. Really? You gotta be kidding me, guys, right? So if they are doing that to this caliber and this level of people, when they hate on you, just remember, you're way ahead of them in the game of life. Here's another one. I'd rather chop off my arm and lick myself with my detached limb than listen to Katy Perry. What the F is wrong with this world? Now, whether you like Katy Perry or not, was that comment really warranted? And is there anything about that is real and is legit? Of course not. It's ridiculous. Next one. Dear God, give us back Tupac and we'll give you Justin Bieber. Jeez, I'm watching Justin read this and I'm like, whoa, I'm glad I didn't get that tweet. Would you rather listen to Josh Groban or have diarrhea ladled into your ear? Hard choice I'm having, right? Ew. Next one, Wiz Khalifa. I'll only do a few of these guys, but you gotta. Now, by the way, while I'm doing this, if you guys can put in the comment sections or make a comment what you've been told about yourself by some other hater, or what you've seen someone say about someone else. Guys, please be a little judicious about how you do this. Don't be real foul or whatever if you can help it. But say, yeah, I remember so and so said this, or I've heard that, or my mom and dad said this, right, whatever. Wiz Khalifa, you look like a homeless woman with a ghetto rap star gold tooth. Ouch. At Talkin' Dog, Common. Is that the model of your penis? What the heck? These are the nice ones, man. I didn't even get to the nasty ones. OMG. Demi Lovato makes my effing ears bleed. STF. You talentless TWATT. You're going to give me a heart attack. Anyway, and I think Demi's a really talented singer. She's a great songwriter, great performer. We've talked about Demi. She's new to my palette and my repertoire of hearing some of these people. I was impressed with how good she is. Now, this is another one. And this one really, I'm going to end with this one. It says, hey, James Taylor. You guys remember him? We get it. You've seen fire and rain. Guess what? So have I and a lot of other people. Isn't that special? You're a douche. Well, let's talk about this, folks. And this is the time to get serious on this. James Taylor wrote Fire and Rain about his wife that was going to meet him at one of his shows, and she died in a plane crash. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen lonely days I thought would never end. I've seen some times when I couldn't find a friend, but I always thought I'd see you again. It never dawned on him that would be her demise and end it. And I can't imagine how difficult that song would be to sing night after night, knowing you lost one of the most dearest things that your life will ever know in a plane crash, and someone probably doesn't even know what the song is about has the audacity to make that kind of comment. Okay, so I'm not trying to get this, too melancholy here and too, serious, but I make that point because, like Brad Paisley, writes songs about his dad, and just beautiful, beautiful music, and yet people can hate on them. So they can hate on anybody for anything. And what it does, in fact, I'm going to say most all critics cannot do it themselves. So they've got to find something that elevates them or they think elevates themselves. And in fact, ironically, most of the seasoned musicians that I know are very encouraging, and they give you hey, good job, dude. You'll get it, man. Just try it a couple more times. They understand what it takes to get great at something. So the more adept someone is at something, the less likely they are going to make a derogatory comment or a hater comment or a mean tweet. Pretty interesting, because if there was someone that qualifies someone to make a comment, it'd be someone that's really accomplished at it, and yet we find exactly the opposite. We find the accomplished usually, not always, but usually come back and are pat them on the back and don't tear them down. So I wanted to bring this up because I see as people try to illuminate themselves, what they're doing is they're trying to steal your limelight. But remember, that's exactly what they're doing. They can't do it themselves, so they're trying to draw some kind of attention to themselves because they're pathetic. Let's be honest, right? They're pathetic, and they see you do something because they're jealous. Think about that. They're jealous that you're doing something that you love. Best revenge, Swedish revenge in the world, is doing something that you love and being good at it, and other people are hating on you. I guess revenge doesn't get much better than that. Number 3, building your fan base and social media will annoy the heck out of them. So the more fans that you get, and the more your circle of influence gets bigger, social media or whatever, the more they're going to hate on you because they're jealous. But the more you build, the more critics you'll have. So you got to be careful about drinking the haterade. Don't let it get to you, right? Because the more you build this business, this whatever, the more you're going to have haters. It's just the way it is. And your happiness in getting to do what you love will eclipse and trump their negativity, okay? So the fact that you're happy, you're getting to do what you want, you get to do what you love, that will supersede or overcome the negativity in this, and you've got to let that do that. Number 4, great tip, best revenge against singing critics. Sing great. Just sing great, perform great. Sweetness doesn't get any better than that in the revenge department. Know that you're improving and bettering yourself. I remember all the people that would laugh at me. Remember I told you the story? They'd laugh. I was going to rehearsal like 3-4 times a week, and then sometimes shows on the weekend. And I didn't have time because I also took on a job or two to support my music habit. And so I would have to practice in the car. Now, I don't recommend that as your first option, but it was my only option. I'd have about an hour or so drive each way. And so I would do my vocal warm-ups in the car. And people would... And I'm just thinking, I'm going to laugh all the way to the bank, folks. I'm going to laugh all the way to my success. And it was funny because as people, I'd actually had a couple people say, hey, I know this sounds crazy, but you don't happen to live in the Long Beach area, do you? And I said, yeah. He goes, I used to see you like leave at the same time. We used to call them the car people. Remember those guys? They always leave at the same time going to work or whatever. You don't know who they are, but you see them in their car driving. He says, and I would always see you sing in the car. And then I saw you later on, I think it was an MTV video or something. He goes, I thought, oh my gosh, I would make fun of you as you were singing in the car. I had no idea that you were this guy that ended up on MTV. Coolest thing ever. Best revenge ever, right? So anyway, I had to practice in the car. Now, people made crazy fun of, it's Friday, Friday. Remember the Friday chick, right? She's laughing all the way to the bank or to her success because she got to be in a Katy Perry video. Now, as ridiculous and silly as the video might have been, that video, because of so many critics, so she actually found success on the backs of critics dissing her and gave her the ability to end up into a Katy Perry video. That's crazy. So anyway, the greater the exposure, the sweeter the revenge. Now, even Jack Black, you think that you can kick me out of the band, right? So even Jack Black, of course, in one of my all-time favorite movies of all time, School of Rock, said, you can't kick me out of the band. Now, I actually even wrote a song about one of my band members that was trying to steal my limelight and say some derogatory things about me or whatever. And it's called This One's For You. And if you get a chance, go online and check it out. It's one of my songs. I'll try to put it in the description also. This One's For You. I wrote the whole lyric about someone that was constantly trying to steal my limelight. And also, I wrote another song called Get Out of My Sun. Get Out of My Sun. Check out both of those songs because it's directly related to people that are trying to steal your thunder or tear you down or do whatever, eclipse, your hard work. So anyway, so learn from Jack Black. They can't kick you back out of the band. I'm telling you. Number 5. This is a good one. Recognize your defensiveness and overcome it. Let me say that again. Recognize your defensiveness and overcome it. Now, do I get defensive when someone says something about me? And it's how funny is it that, you could look at your YouTube videos and you could see 100 people liked it and you get a thumbs down. It's like, who gave me that thumbs down? Who was that, right? And what's really funny is I used to teach this Russian girl. She's pretty well known on the internet now. And, in the language, sometimes the language doesn't always translate the same way. And so we'd done this stellar performance of a Whitney Houston song. And she had one thumbs down on it, and she was kind of distraught. And I was talking to her about it, and she goes, well, instead of saying there's always one asshole, she reversed that in her language. She goes, well, there's always one hole in the ass. And I thought, I like that better. There's always one hole in the ass. There's probably a lot of them in your world, but just remember that's exactly what they are. So recognize your defensiveness and overcome it. Don't take yourself too seriously. Let's face it, we can get 100 compliments, but it's that one that seems to get under our skin. If there is a genuine aspect to the critique, learn from it and better yourself. Now, if it's just someone that's looking to be mean, that's different. But if there's a part to it that even maybe it wasn't said in the best of ways, if there's something about it you can learn from, that's okay. That's okay. You can get rid of the rest, all of the darkness of the total sum of the comment, and take maybe the one part that you can apply to yourself, get rid of the defensiveness, and allow that to go, hey, well, how can I make that better? Now I'm not making it better to please the world. You're never, you can't please everyone, so you gotta please yourself, man. Well, it's all right now. I learned my lessons well. You guys remember that? I can't please everyone, so you gotta please yourself, right? Actually, I please someone else, myself personally, but anyway, subject for another day. But if it's just someone to be mean, to try to steal your spotlight and try to shine on themselves, they're just miserable people, right? And their lives are so pathetic, straight up, that it's not worth the air that you breathe to try to answer them or acknowledge them. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Can't hold me back any longer. Right, I'm in a singing mood this morning. Actually, a pretty good mood today. It's really pretty outside, The world's starting to open back up again, let us out of our chains. Anyway, and I know I've said this before, but it's worth repeating. Your worst humiliating moment is only someone else's momentary amusement. I said it at the beginning of this. I'm going to say it a third time. One more time. Remember, grill this into your head. Your worst humiliating moment is only someone else's momentary amusement. Okay? And remember, never argue with a fool, because they will drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. That is the truth. Now, I've learned that the best way to deal with criticism is by diffusing it, okay? And the way I diffuse it is I usually use a little humor and some self-deprecation. In other words, I don't pretend or try to be all that. If you guys know, I'm just like you guys. I'm no better than you. I may have worked a little harder than you or replied myself. That's different. But I am just like you. There's nothing different about Ken Tamplin. My poo-poo stinks, and, we all have our issues, right? So I want to encourage you guys that I'm just a guy just like you, trying to encourage you. I may be a little farther down the food chain and how hard I've worked at something, but I'm also trying to bring you guys along and lift you up, not try to tear you down and step on you to keep me thinking I'm cool. If that's the case, then I ain't that cool, and if anybody does that, they're not that cool. So anyway, I learned the best way to deal with criticism by diffusing it, diluting it, right? And using a little humor and being a little self-deprecating. And when you do that, guys, people will see, like the onlookers, they'll see that you're a class act. And you know what? They're going to look at the criticizer as barbaric and inhumane. Really, it will literally hold a mirror up to themselves. If you can be a class act like this and just let it roll off you and let these guys say whatever they're going to say, they're the ones that are going to look like morons and idiots, not you. And nobody's going to believe the comments that they say about you. Number 6, this is another good one. These are emotional benefits to criticism. So now you said, what's the best revenge? Ken, get back to the revenge. I am, man. This is good stuff right here. It's helpful to learn how to sit with the discomfort of an initial emotional reaction instead of knee-jerk. I'm gonna respond. Okay. Now, I like to say that there's a button or a space between stimulus and response. There's a pause button. Think about this. Now, when someone says something derogatory or lame or mean to you, you don't immediately have to come back to them. That's pandering or playing into their, they're pushing your buttons and they're able to get you to do what they want. So you're a puppet on their string if you do that. My suggestion is there's a pause button in between stimulus and response. Just wait a minute. If there's some merit to the comment, you can decide if there is or not. If it's just a mean comment, it's just a mean comment. But it's helpful to learn how to sit with with the discomfort of an initial emotional reaction instead of immediately acting or retaliating. Okay, that's really important because all too often we want to do something because our feelings got hurt, or our indignancies or whatever, or we always feel like we have to be right. Right? I'm going to get through some John Wooden quotes, but I love the John Wooden quote that says, it's amazing what can be accomplished if you don't have to be right, or it's amazing what can be accomplished if you don't care about who gets the credit, right? Isn't that interesting? Because I'm going to get into some John Wooden stuff that's really cool in a minute. So anyway, too often we want to do something with our feelings. So how many times, and I wonder, as horrible as this is when it comes to the revenge world, that someone does something and someone goes out and gets a gun and they take care of business because they didn't wait. They didn't think about it. They didn't let the dust settle for a minute. Think about the total consequence, the total retaliation consequence, the fallout of everything. How ridiculous you look when you are engaged by a fool. Remember, never argue with a fool, because he'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. So once you're sparring with somebody like that, you've lowered yourself already to their level. Just don't do it. Wait on the response. Think about it. And 9 times out of 10, as you're escalating and you're inspired and you're doing cool stuff and you surround yourself with cool people that encourage you, that stuff just goes away. It's ridiculous. So anyway, it's much better to have a maturity to let it roll off and find ways to use it to your advantage, rather than its self-reflection and letting it stew and letting it eat at you and letting it gnaw away at you. Don't give it that space in your heart. Remember, be careful how you drink the haterade. It's important stuff. And by the way, too, everyone else, all the onlookers, they're going to look at it and go, well, that guy is he really sucks. And those people, now they'll have their own fans themselves that will get on the hate train. Oh yeah, she's a this. Oh yeah, they're that. And they're all in that category. All they do is sit around and spend their time and energy becoming better haters. They don't apply themselves to life. Which brings me to my next number 7. This is my final one, but I've got more coming, so hang in there. The best revenge that you can have, again, best revenge against your critics, number 7, is live well. Live well, living well. Live with joy, live with confidence, live with peace, and live with perseverance. Live well, do things well. I have outlived all of my critics, and I still get them. They're there, right? But I know that in my heart, and John Wooden had said something interesting, I'm going to get into his quotes in a minute, that, like I said, you can't please everybody. Don't even try. All you can do is know that you're doing the best you can and live with yourself and your conscience. That's all you're required to do. That, my friends, living well will make you successful. Now, this is the most important takeaway that we can have for how we respond to criticism. Knowing who you are as a person, being comfortable in your skin, and knowing where you're heading in life, not just in singing or playing an instrument or whatever. And know that with surety. That, my friends, is the sweetest revenge. Again, I'm using this term very tongue-in-cheek. I don't mean it as, I'm going to get them. It's living above that, taking the high road, right? I'm using this context, revenge, in terms tongue-in-cheek for entertainment value. Now, I want to share with you some John Wooden quotes, but before I do, I want to tell you who John Wooden was for you guys that don't know it. John Wooden was one of the most famous, if not the most famous basketball coach that has ever lived. Now, he was a coach at UCLA in some pretty tough years of UCLA. And some of you might remember some of his old players, from Bill Walton, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like all these crazy, amazing guys that went on to the NBA just to become superstars, legends, right? Icons. But what's interesting about John is that he was a coach at UCLA for 10 years. And I want you guys in sports to think about this. He never lost a single game in 10 years at UCLA. That is unbelievable. Because you could say, well, he must have just had all the great players and that's what helped him win. No, that would be in the pro leagues. You could maybe pull something like that off. Maybe. Highly unlikely. Never lose a game, right? But because it was college, what's interesting is players got rotated. So he didn't get the benefit of having these players for 10 years, 2, maybe 3 years tops. If they came in as freshmen, he had a couple years to groom them and a couple years to make them great. So he proved out his method for 10 straight years of being a great coach and understanding what critique is all about. I want to read some of his stuff. It says, be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, and your reputation is merely what others think you are. Character is who you really are. Your reputation is what people think. You've got to keep up a good rep, man. I got to put on a face. Only show your front to the world, right? No, it's your character that matters. Make each day your masterpiece. So as you're going down this road and people are making their comments and stuff, don't worry about it. Keep painting the canvas of your life. Make every day your masterpiece. Next one, success comes from knowing that you did your best to become the best that you are capable of becoming. Let me say it again. Success comes from knowing that you did your best to become the best that you are capable of becoming. Best revenge against critics ever. Next one, things turn out best for the people who make the best of the way things turn out. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I said things turn out best for the people who make the best of the way things turn out. Even in criticism, right? Important stuff. Talent is God-given. Be humble. Fame is man-given. Be grateful. Conceit is self-given. Be careful. Next one. The best competition I have is against myself to become better and against no one else. I'm not competing against anybody else. So I don't have to put anybody down. I don't have to think, oh, I'll never get to that level. I don't have to, whatever. I'm not competing against everybody else. I'm competing against myself. That, my friends, is the best revenge ever. Next one. All of life is peaks and valleys. Don't let the peaks get too high and don't let the valleys get too low. Next one. Ability is a poor man's wealth. Whoa. Chew on that sucker. Ability is a poor man's wealth. In other words, you can have a gift that's given you, and it's really what you do with that gift. And if you rely on that as your only go-to, let's say, to be the total sum of your character, then that ability can actually be a deficit. Let me give you an example of this, and I know this is going to sound kind of tough, but it needs to be said. A lot of people rely solely on their looks, right? And so because they get a pass for a lot of things because of their beauty, in some sense, not all, but a lot, because they get a pass, if you notice, it becomes harder for them to have to work hard at something, right? Think about that. Now, I'm not saying all, and I am definitely stereotyping. So for you beautiful people out there, use your beauty for good, as they said in that one TV show. But I want to give that as an example of what he means by that, in that it can actually be a disadvantage. So I find a lot of people that are the beautiful people, they go out of their way not to take pictures and selfies of themselves. They go out of their way to show their academics or, whatever it is their other abilities are, their accomplishments are, so that they are known that they don't rely on their beauty to get them ahead of the game. Now, we're living in the entertainment world, and unfortunately that's a huge component to this, but I'm pointing out that the reliance on that will not in the end get you because what happens when your beauty fades, right? But your character never fades. So just try to be the best you can be. Never cease trying to be the best you can. Never cease trying to be the best you can be. That is in your power. Everything else is not in your power. But trying to be the best you can be, that's within your own power. Just do the best you can. No matter, no one can expect more than that, or no one can do more than that. Just be the best you can. Success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction and knowing you did your best to become the best that you're capable of being. These are the ultimate arrows of revenge to your critics. All of these are, because you can outlive them, outperform them, outgrow them, out-character them in every single one of these. Ability may get you to the top, but it takes character to keep you there. Ooh, that's a good one. It takes time to create excellence. If it could be done quickly, more people would do it. Therefore, they criticize. Isn't that interesting? Let me say it again. It takes time to create excellence. If it could be done quickly, more people will do it. Therefore, they criticize. The people that can't do it, what do? They criticize, right? I think you have to be what you are. Don't try to be somebody else. You have to be yourself at all times. Well, if you're true to yourself, you're going to be true to everyone else. That's the coolest thing ever. I think about that all the time. I go, I can't concern myself with what everybody thinks about Ken Tamplin. I've just got to be true to myself, know that I'm doing the right thing, know that every day I get up, I discipline myself to do these different things. And then my critics, I get to wear this armor where their poisonous fiery arrows go boing and they bounce off. And a lot of times, because I hope of the way I want my character to be, that those arrows bounce back and hit them back directly and knock them out, right? Best revenge ever is living well, living above it. Next one, neither success nor failure is a permanent state. That's something we really got to, get our brains around. So no matter if you feel like you're in the dumps or you're on a high, a euphoric high, neither one of those is permanent. Remember that. It's the balance of this. It's the ebb and flow of this. It's running the long race, not the short race. We're triathletes here in what it is we do in life. Singing is part of that. Do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. Well, my friends, critics would love nothing better than to let that be the interference so that it discourages you to the point where you can't do something. I can't tell you how many heart-wrenching testimonials that I've had come in of people, good and bad, and I'm going to talk about bad and then good in a second, where they said, my parents, they hate the sound of my voice, and they think I'm a pretty good guitar player, and they've told me, find someone else that's a good singer, stick with the guitar, you're better at that. That couldn't be more undermining to your children, or family do it, or friends do that to you. Hey man, if you're going to do something, you want to do it, get out and do something. Surround yourself with the people that encourage you what you want to do. Don't listen to those guys. Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do, okay? Now, I interjected critics into that. That's not what he said, but it can apply also. Don't give up on your dreams, or your dreams will give up on you. Ooh. Don't give up on your dreams, or your dreams will give up on you. I wouldn't want to find myself later in life saying, gosh, if only. I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd, taken the time. I had all the time in the world, and instead I played video games, and I was, a gamer at night, or this or that or whatever, wasted a bunch of time doing that. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. I'm almost done with these guys. If we magnify blessings as much as we magnify disappointments, we'd all be much happier. It goes back to, if you got the 100 thumbs up and got the 1 thumbs down, we're going to be a lot happier celebrating the 99 thumbs up. If you're not making mistakes, then you're not doing anything worthy. I'm positive that a doer makes mistakes. It isn't what you do, but how you do it. It's the little details that are vital. Little things make big things happen, okay? Now, I'm going to answer some questions here in a minute, but I thought it was ironic. I used to live in an area called Bellhurst, California. We used to live by a place called Los Coyotes Country Club. And one of my neighbors was Mario Andretti. I kid you not, the Andretti family lived right up the street from me. And I remember Mario had said, and he would say this, and as a kid, I didn't know what he meant by this, and I guess later on I found out it was a famous quote from him. But I'm going to read some quick information on Mario. Who is Mario Andretti? Many racing experts consider Mario Andretti to be the most successful and versatile racing driver of all time. During his career, Andretti won the Indianapolis 500, Daytona 500, Formula One World Championship, and the Pikes Peak International Hill Climb. He is one of only 2 drivers in history to win races in Formula One, IndyCar, World Sports Car Championship, and NASCAR. Only one of 2 in the whole world. During an interview with Success magazine, Andretti was asked for his #1 tip for success in race car driving. And he said, "Don't look at the wall. Your car goes where your eyes go." Did you hear that? When young drivers are starting to race, this is one of the most critical lessons they learn. When you're driving at 200 miles an hour, you need to focus on the road in front of you. If you look at the wall, you're going to hit it. The same could be said with your life, your work, dealing with haters and critics. Criticism and negativity from difficult people is like a wall. And if you focus on it, then you'll run right into it. You'll get blocked by negative emotions, anger, and self-doubt. Your mind will go where your attention is focused. Criticism and negativity don't prevent you from reaching the finish line, but they can certainly distract you from it. However, if you focus on the road in front of you and on moving forward, then you can safely speed past the walls and the negativity and the barriers that can hold you down. Okay, those are the 7 tips. Now I want to answer some questions here. So let's see here. Elias, my personal favorite examples of fostering hate was supposedly said by Buddha. Hate is like picking up a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at another. That's a good one. You're the only one that gets burned. I don't know if Gandhi actually said that, but it sounds like something he might say. Problems. I love you, Coach Ken Tamplin. Manis Wagme Mom said, stop calling, shouting, singing. All right, I'm going to call it belting. Call it glottal compression. That'll really freak her out. Let's see. Mel J. Turner. I used to manage celebrity accounts on Twitter and dealt with those types of tweets. For them, that was the block button. That's what the block button is for. For my ex-first husband, used to say, you sound like a screeching cat. Yeah, I've heard stuff. By the way, guys, I used to get the worst stuff said to me. You have no idea. And all I could do is go, well, I can believe them or I can continue to live my dream. I'm really glad I got to continue to live my dream because I get to share my dream with you. And that's the coolest thing ever. Had I done that and listened to them, you wouldn't be sitting online with Ken Tamplin right now. It's the coolest thing ever. Jesper, a friend of mine told me you sound like you puke while you sing. Your voice is awful. Well, just, suck it up and go for it. You could come up with some funny, comeback to say, do you really think so? What was that old joke? Hey, cab driver, guy in the back seat, do you got room up there for a 6-pack and a pizza? Cab driver looks around and says, yeah, I think so. He says, good. Metal Mistress 888, my hate comment on singing is Queensrÿche. You are clearly mentally ill, but I live watching you trying. I guess I love watching you try to sing. That's true. And actually, too, as you're going through some exercises, you can sound pretty awkward with some of the exercises that we do. Mark Edward, integrity is key. Right on, Mark. I agree. Thank you for this cast. Kenny H, I'm no singer, but I'm watching your vids has helped me immensely, and I'm surprised at what I've achieved. And I'm older and can sing better than I could since my 20s. Thank you. That's awesome, Kenny H. Nicholas, Orthodox. I was just saying I'm tired of being treated like a fool. Amen. Hey, so listen, guys. I've got a lot of these that I'm going to do, and I'll do again another Q&A. And I know this is kind of cutting a little bit short today, but I know we've been doing really long ones too, and I just want to make sure enough people have access to this. So if you guys have a subject that you would like me to cover, please put it in the description because I'm doing a lot of this by request. In fact, most of it by request. So please make it known and put it in the description. And it's been awesome sharing this with you guys. Hopefully that these 7 tips give you the sweetest revenge ever in the best, most positive kind of way. And hopefully too, just because someone may hate on you today doesn't mean that they'll hate on you tomorrow. Have some grace for them and maybe even encourage them so that they can become all they can be rather than being the best haters they can be. Okay, thanks gang for joining me. Until next time, God bless you guys and peace out.